Nico.
And I'm Rob.
And we're Wander Open Roads. We have just arrived at Mesa Verde National Park in Colorado.
Yeah, our first national park stop in Colorado, so that's exciting. And just went to the visitor center and got the lay of the land. And yeah, it's about a 40-minute drive to the cliffs, so definitely trying to make sure we get there. How's it going?
So we have a timed entry tour for the cliff dwellings.
The cliff house.
To the cliff house.
It starts in 31 minutes.
Starts 31 minutes, so we are trying to make our way there, and it's going to take a minute because the visitor center is right at the entrance, but everything else is kind of deep in,
like 20 miles.
20 miles inside the park. Yeah. So you definitely want to make sure that you give yourself time, and there are several timed entry tours. So you want to make sure that you're, keeping that in mind and preparing for that. I know when Robin was trying to book some of the tours, they fill up very quickly.
Yeah, and this was, actually for this one, you could only book it, I believe, 2 weeks in advance, something like that. So once I got to the window, on the day of, I got up that morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, and all of the spots were already taken for the tour that I wanted. So I was able to get another tour, which was the Cliff House. But yeah, and then I tried even a third tour, and it was sold out too. And this was 2 weeks in advance at 8 o'clock in the morning, the day of the day that the tickets were available online. So yeah, very popular.
Yeah, so things, fill up quickly. So, factor that into your plans. So we are taking what looks to be, a decent scenic drive up to where everything is. So we will see you there.
So as we mentioned, we did start off at the visitor center, which is right as you come in the entrance. And of course, we had to get our stamp for our national park book. So that was definitely something that we needed to do. And there's also a nice museum there, so definitely take the time to check that out. But as we said, pay attention to your timed entry for sure. So as we mentioned, there was definitely a nice scenic drive on the way to the cliffs. It's definitely a 30 to 40-minute drive from the entrance to actually get to the exhibits, the tour location. So definitely plan accordingly. If you're not familiar with Mesa Verde, it is in Colorado. And it is right at the corner of 4 states: Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, and Arizona. So it's in the southwestern corner. So it was definitely a natural progression for us coming from Utah to come right to it. So if you're in southern Utah, if you're checking out those national parks, yeah, just swing on into Colorado, and hey, you're right there. So Mesa Verde is Spanish for green table. It's located in southwestern Colorado, and it was the home to the Ancestral Pueblo people for over 700 years, from around 550 AD to 1300, and they built extensive villages and cliff dwellings before migrating south due to factors like drought and resource depletion. So these were just some awesome structures that really showcase their engineering skills and their and showed their complex culture. So the Cliff Palace was the area that we actually got our advanced entry tickets for, and it is the largest structure there, and it is a massive cliff dwelling with over 150 rooms, and it was built during the 12th and 13th centuries. So this is an overlook view of it, and this was what we saw right before we got to walk down and do the tour, which was totally awesome, great experience. I would definitely recommend it. But I guess you have to get up earlier than 8 o'clock in order to get tickets for everything, so keep that in mind. Now, if you're thinking of going on these tours, definitely check this video out. You can see, some of the physical nature of what we were having to do in order to climb down. And then on the back end, there's a straight ladder that you have to climb up. So there is no elevator to take you down to Mesa Verde. You are going to have to be able to do this type of walking and climbing. So please keep that in mind before you plan your trip and buy your tickets. I didn't feel like it was overly strenuous, but we are definitely used to doing these types of things and walking on uneven footing and things of this nature. And as you can see, there were guardrails in some places, but not all. So it was definitely something that you had to be careful with. So the Cliff House was totally awesome, and the tour guide gave us plenty of time to explore and walk around and get up close and personal with the area. But she also did a fantastic job of telling the story of the different things that happened in the different areas, what the different rooms were for. These circular areas that you see, they would actually have had like a roof, like a thatched roof of tree branches and things like that. So just kind of giving an idea of what things actually look like in the different areas where the people lived. So definitely a great tour, and hats off to the park rangers for doing a great job of telling the story and keeping the history alive. So after our tour, we continued to drive around, and there are definitely plenty of overlooks with some just fantastic views of the valley. And there are also a couple of other dwellings that you can't necessarily hike to, but you can actually see them from the overlook points. So definitely take the time to do that. So definitely check out the map that they give you at the visitor center, and you can drive around to a couple of the other viewing points for some of the other cliff dwellings and different things that they built. So, awesome tour. Just a really great day there.
So we are wrapping up our time here at
Mesa Verde.
And they have really done a good job of preserving the history here.
Oh yeah, lots of archaeology, lots of work definitely went into the preservation of this site.
And telling the story. You're going to get more out of your visit if you're actually able to get on one of the tours.
Yeah. The park rangers definitely do a good job with the tours and telling the whole story of everything that you're seeing. We did the Cliff House, right? Was that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we did the Cliff House, and there's another one called the Balcony House that we were not able to get on. Unfortunately, it was already booked up.
One of the more popular tours.
Yeah. So definitely make sure that there's like a certain window when the reservations come up, and make sure you are Johnny on the spot and get your reservations, definitely.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're just going to the different overlooks. Some of the overlooks do give you a view of the cliff dwellings. And so we did see like one other one that, was not part of a tour. So
Right.
that was cool.
Yeah. And just some nice views of the valley, and the park rangers kind of tell the story about how they farmed up on top of the plateau, and then they had their cliff dwelling below them that they would climb down to. And I'd say it was some treacherous climbing. I mean, they had steps for us, but steps and ladders for us. But you could actually see the hand and footholds, going up the rocks.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. That they actually used. They didn't have the steps and ladders back then, but yeah, cool stuff.
Yeah, but it's definitely been a good experience to really get up and close and personal inside of the cliff dwellings. It was really cool. Yeah. So thanks for joining us on yet another national park. Again, we are in Colorado, Southern Colorado. So this was our first stop, and we have a few more to go.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
Wander safely.
Thanks for joining us for another Wander Open Roads adventure, and we will see you next time.
Wander safely.